Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Almighty Allah, the entirely merciful and especially merciful. Dear viewers across the globe, I greet you with the greeting of peace. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. May peace be with you. Ameen. Dear viewers, welcome to this program. Welcome to Treasures from the Holy Quran. Treasures, real treasures, even more valuable than the treasures, the materialistic treasures that we know. Because we need it, and it helps us in this world. Not only that, it helps us in the later world, the hereafter. So it works very well for our benefit. Therefore, we need to be more focused and to be more oriented and to know exactly what these treasures are. They are simply the words of Almighty Allah. They are the words that had been preserved for all of us. Never any change happened to them. Not even the change of a single vowel or a single consonant. Nothing happened to them. Allah preserved them and protected them for us because they will be guiding all humans when they believe in them until the day of judgment. They are the guidance, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala defined these treasures in the book of Allah, in the first ayah, in the second chapter, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. It's guidance for those who believe in it. And in another verse, when he talked about Ramadan, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس. It's guidance for humans, for mankind. So this book, bluntly and proudly, we say that it is for all humans. And it is guidance for them. Not for a sect and not the other. Not for a group and ignoring the other group. It's guidance for all humans. Yes, it's guidance for people who believe in it more than the people who don't believe it. But even for the people who don't believe in it, many people who converted and reverted to Islam, you'll find them repeating the same statement. Although they convert to Islam in different spots of the world. They don't know each other. They have not spoken to each other. Yet they repeat the same statement. We found guidance in the book. And this is exactly what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about it. It's guidance for humans. It guides you. Once you open the first page or the first few pages, you cannot resist leaving them. You have to continue and continue and continue trying to understand what is there, because it's the words of Allah, and it is so, if you are so sincere, definitely Allah will guide you. What is needed from you and me, it's sincerity. Today I am going to take one verse. It's from chapter number 2, but it is ayah number 170. It may sound surprising to many people and many audience when they discover the essence of this verse, and it tells us that, believe it or not, huge amount of problems are happening because of the fathers. The fathers in the previous generations my father, your father, the fathers of this generation, the fathers in the previous generation, fathers. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't talk about this. Even the majority of the people are not aware of that. And this tells you that this book is very valuable. Every ayah of it. It tells you so unique that you even cannot imagine, or you have never thought of it. It tells us about the source of most of the mistakes that happen in the world. What is the main reason for these mistakes? This verse will tell us. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. This is ayah number 170, chapter number 2. وإذا قيل لهم اتبعوا ما أنزل الله قالوا بل نتبع ما ألفينا عليه آباءنا أولو كان آباؤهم لا يعقلون شيئا ولا يهتدون. So here it tells them that if they were asked, if they were commanded to follow what Allah, the Creator, has given them to follow, their immediate response, their response is, rather, we would follow what we found our parents doing. The first response for most of the people, they would reject following what was given to them by their Creator, by Allah. Why don't you do this as Allah commanded you? They will immediately, their immediate response, say, no. We'll do what our parents have been doing. In other words, what is known as culturally correct. Some people say that politically correct, or strategically correct, or military correct. Those people, the majority of the people, say that, in fact, we want to be culturally correct. We want to do the same way our parents have done it. Then here, see the Quranic style. Try to motivate you to think much deeper than this straight answer that you mentioned. Think of it. Does it make sense? The Quran says, أَوَلَوْ كَانَ آبَاؤُهُمْ لَا يَعْقِلُونَ شَيْئًا وَلَا يَهْتَدُونَ. Even if you know that your parents are not mindful of what they say and what they do, they don't think when they do that, even if you know that your parents were drunk when they say that, even if you know that they don't have knowledge to qualify them to take this kind of decision, you still want to follow them? See how the Quran, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tried to make you think of whatever you have never thought of. You've done it hundreds and thousands of times. You follow your father's steps. You do what the culture tells you to do. Even if you realize that this culture was based on ignorance, if you realize that this was based on your own or their own personal experiences, which does not mean anything scientifically. If I go to people in the village and they are not aware of the benefits of the sun or the moon or what they cause to them, and I ask them and they answer, all of them, all the people in that place, they give you wrong answers or incomplete answers. Of course, their kids will follow them. Who can guide them? Yes, messengers of Allah. When they give them the message that what they are doing is incomplete and incorrect and unacceptable, because the creator of these humans is the one who tells us that this is incorrect, this is wrong, this is just you inherited. You inherited this habit or this tradition or this kind of drinking alcohol or this kind of habit. You have inherited them. And the main people who played this role in your life negatively were the closest to you, were your parents, were your father. If you know this context and if you know this explanation in this background, you still want to follow them? Now, after they know that there is something else more important than their parents, more important than their fathers, more important than the culture that they live in, they have now open-minded. Everyone at least would say in his heart, would spell it out in his or in her heart, this makes sense. It makes sense. Why should I follow my father and I know that he doesn't have qualifications, he is not qualified to make judgment in this issue. I need an expert one. And there is no one with better expertise than Almighty Allah, because He's the creator of all those humans, and the humans before us, and the humans since the time of Adam. He is the same creator who knows everything. When you know the attributes and the names and the qualities and the perfect, beautiful names of Almighty Allah, when you understand, you start getting into there, trying to understand. When you know all that, he or she would immediately respond by saying, no, I am mistaken. Nobody told me that. Nobody informed me about that. The majority of the people who have smart hearts, who have smart brains, who have smart skills, they would say, no, I was completely mistaken. I was mistaken because I was so narrow-minded. I restricted myself to read what my father has used to read, what his parents used to teach him, what his relatives and what his community used to teach him or to teach her. But now I know that the universe and the world is much broader than this. So why would I restrict myself to the understanding, to the explanation of my parents? And I know that they are not qualified as I am qualified now. I know 4 or 5 languages. I read books in these languages. I have some qualifications and education that my parents never reached this level. And yet, I still learn from them these complicated things that they did not know. They died even without knowing that. And I know this at school. I know this when I go through the library and read these books. When I come across a book, it's called the Quran, that showed this, exposed this truth to me, something that you cannot argue at all. I cannot argue. I accept it with open heart. And I find myself tempted to go into that direction because it's a normal direction. It's natural. It's something in my body. It's something in my mind. It's something normal that I follow what this truth, not even logic, what the truth tells me. I see the sun coming, and I see that when the sun, after half an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, I start realizing the heat coming because of the sun. When it disappears, the temperature decreases. I start seeing the truth and feeling the truth by myself. I don't need even a teacher to tell me. This can be realized by even a villager in his or her village, by himself or herself. Because you see the truth. You cannot deny it. I taste the water of the sea. I find it salty. I taste the water of the river. I find it not salty. Fresh water versus salty water. So I see the difference by myself. They taste themselves. So I know that there is a difference between the sea and the river. I don't need my father help. I don't need to inherit the culture that I have grown in, that I have been raised in. This is known, culturally correct. By the same thing, this becomes shakable beliefs, shakable traditions that I inherited from the culture that I lived in. This is one of the beautiful things in the Quran that raise in our minds to think in the right direction and to start stopping thinking in the false directions according to the tradition that I inherited from my environment. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.